Drawing this cute peach in Procreate is easier than you think, and I will take you through all the steps so you can draw it too, even if you are a beginner in digital art. If you will have fun with this video and would like to get more tutorials like this, make sure to check out my Patreon. I add their new video every week. Link is in the description. And with all that being said, grab your drawing tools and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. Rotate it this way. And first we can color the background. So let's open the color palette. And if you want to use exactly the same colors as I will be using here, you can download this for free together with my free brushes. Link is in the description. You can also get for free these brushes. They are available for all of my patrons, even the free members. And here in this video I will be using this one. Okay, so let's pick the color for the background. Let's take color number 13. And we can just drag and drop it in here. Now we can make a new layer to start drawing the peach. So let's tap on the plus and let's pick the color for the peach. Pick color number 1. Now let's pick a brush. Let's go here to calligraphy and take monoline brush. My brush size will be 20. And we can draw here a circle shape. Actually, it will not be like a circle, just more like an oval, like this. And now you can tap here on Edit Ellipse and adjust this shape. This will be the back of the peach. So the part that will be covered by the front part, let's make it more or less in this shape. When you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. And now we can color this inside. So drag and drop the color in here. You can hold your pencil on the screen and swipe it to the left or right to adjust the color drop threshold. Okay. Now we are going to draw a similar shape in front over here. We can do it on a new layer. So let's make a new layer. And let's draw it over here. Again, hold your pencil on the screen. And now we can tap here to adjust this shape. I'm going to make this one a little bit more rounded. I think like this will be nice over here. Okay, we can tap on the screen with the finger and now color this inside. Right away we can move those two parts to the middle of the canvas. Let's select both of those layers. So swipe on this one to the right. And now let's take the arrow tool. Here at the bottom we can pick freeform option and turn on snapping. So now we can move this and it will snap to the middle of the canvas, like this. Okay, tap here to finish this. So now we can start adding here some light and shadow so we can see this form better. And then we can place the stem and the leaves and the eyes and mouth. Let's start with adding shadow to the part that is in the back. So this layer over here. We are going to set it as alpha lock. So tap here and pick alpha lock. And now this means that we can draw only on this shape. Let's pick the color. Take color number 2. And let's pick a brush. You can pick here any texture brush that you like. I will be using here my brush set texture brushes, but of course you don't need to have it. You can, for example, use here siakulaart brushes, or even some of my free brushes from siakulaart special brush set, such as small noise, big noise, maybe these textures, or maybe you already have some other brushes that you like with the textures. So I'm going to go here to my siakulaart textures brush set. And for this, I will use wall shading. Let's make the brush size about 27 and we can turn down the brush opacity. Let's make it 68. This way we can add here gradation way easier. So let's add this over here where the back part meets the front part. Like that. We can also add it here at the bottom part. And now we can make it way darker right next to it. Okay. On the same layer, we can add here light. Let's pick the color, take color number 3. And we can add this here on the edge. Over here like that. Also here at the bottom a little bit. So like this. And now let's make the brush size smaller. 11. And add here way more right over here. Like this. We'll still make this stronger later with a new layer. Okay, let's do the same to this part. So let's go to this layer over here. Let's tap on it and set it as alpha lock. Let's go back to the shadow color, color number 2. We can make the brush size bigger again, maybe 32. And add this over here. Like that. And more also on this side. Make it darker here at the bottom. And a little bit here. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to write a comment, I can draw this. It would mean a lot to me, I would know that you enjoyed this video and I could see who is watching me. So thank you for doing that. And now let's go back to drawing. Now let's add the light. So let's take color number 3. We can brighten up this whole part over here. Like that. And now with a smaller brush size, let's make it 8%. Let's make it brighter here right on the edge. We can also take it here to that shadow part. So like that. A little bit over here on this side. And then a bigger light over here. Okay, so like this. In a moment we can make those shadows and lights way stronger, but first maybe let's add here also a texture. We can do it on a new layer. And now, so we can draw only on this shape, we have to set this layer as clipping mask. So tap here and pick clipping mask. We can change blending mode of this to multiply. And let's pick the color. Let's take color number 1. And let's change the brush. So you can pick any other texture brush that you like. I will pick here texture from my set. This one, chalky texture. With the brush size 100%, I'm just going to add it like this. And I will turn down the opacity of this now. I'm going to make it 60%. And same for the part in the back. So first let's make here a new layer on top of this. Set it as clipping mask. Change it to multiply. Right away we can make the opacity 60%. And now add the texture over here. Okay, let's make those shadows now deeper. We can start here with this part in the back. Let's make a new layer on top of this one. Set it as clipping mask. And change it to multiply. Let's change the color. Take color number 2. We can go back to the brush we used for this shadow. So for me that was wall shading. And here with the brush size, let's make it not too big, maybe 7%. We can make now this shadow way deeper right over here, close to that other part. Okay, and also at the bottom. So just like that. Now we can do the same to this part. So let's go over here to the top and make a new layer on top of this. Set it as clipping mask. Set it as multiply. And over here we can make the brush size bigger because this part is bigger. I'll make it 15 and we can make this even deeper, darker over here. Just like that. And now let's add here light. Let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. Change it to add. And let's take color number 3. Now we can change the brush. Let's go here to the all patrons brushes and take fluffy texture. Like I said at the start of this video, these brushes are free. Let's make the brush size maybe like 14 and we can add this over here like that. I think this will make it look way nicer and add this here, this extra little something. So like that. We can also add this just a tiny bit over here. Okay, we can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. Maybe I'm going to make it here 88. And now we can do the same to the second part. So let's go to the shadows on it. Let's make a new layer on top. Set it as clipping mask and change it to add. Okay, let's add this over here like that. And that's enough. Now we can draw here eyes and mouth. So let's go over here to the top of the layers and make a new layer on top of this. Let's change the color. Take color number 10. We can change the brush. Let's go back to calligraphy and monoline brush. And let's draw here eyes. So draw a circle, hold your pencil on the screen, and now you can put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. Like this. Let's color this inside. And I would like to have the second eye exactly the same size. So we can just duplicate this layer. Let's swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. And now we can take the arrow tool and just move it. I will move it over here like this. Okay. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we can draw a mouth in between the eyes. Maybe let's make the brush size bigger for this. Let's try size 50. And draw an arc over here. Hold your pencil on the screen to make a nice arc. Like this. And if you want, you can still tap here and edit it. Okay, so like this, I think it's nice. Tap with your finger on the screen when you finish. Now you can judge if you like the size of it, the position. I think I will move it, but first let's merge those two layers together. So we can just pinch them here like this. Now this is all on one layer and we can take an arrow tool and move it. I'll put it maybe like somewhere over here. Okay. Let's start with adding here highlights in the eyes. Let's set this layer as alpha lock. And now we can take white color, so color number 11. And let's change the brush now. Over here we can go to siakulaart special brushes and take small noise. Let's make the brush size maybe 2%, brush opacity 100%. And we can draw a highlight over here like this. Same in this eye. And now we have to draw the shadow and light around the eyes and mouth. So let's start with going to this shape. Let's take color for the shadow, color number 2. And for this part, we can just use this small noise brush. Let's add here some shadow on the left side. So this will look like those eyes are kind of like set deep in there. Also here on top. So like that for both eyes. Okay. Now here around the mouth, we can just add it over here a little bit on the left side, just like that. And now let's take the lighter color for the lights, color number 3, and we can draw here on the opposite side, so on the right side, this way. Same over here for the mouth. And now for the second eye. Okay, so like this. And now we can make it stronger on those layers with the shadow and light. So let's start here maybe with the light layer, this one. And we can add here even more light right on the edge. Just a tiny bit of it, like that. So this line here is very, very thin. And same for the shadow. So let's take the shadow color, color number 2. Now go to the layer of the shadows, this one. And also make here this deeper. Just a little bit here right on the edge. Okay, so this looks like that. And maybe I think my shadows are a little bit too dark here. I'm gonna go back to the layer with the shape, this one. Take the original color, color number 1. Make the brush size bigger now, 5%, and brush opacity maybe 74. And just draw over here a little bit to take it away, so it's not so strong. I think maybe I exaggerated a little bit over here and made it too dark. Okay, I think this looks better now. So now we can draw here the stem and the leaves. For this, we are going to make a new layer under this one. So let's go over here and make a new layer on top. Make sure this is not set as clipping mask. Let's pick the color for the stem. Take color number 4. And let's change the brush. Let's go to calligraphy and monoline brush. With the brush size 20%. We can draw here a small stem. Just like that. Make sure to close this shape and color this inside. Let's add here some shadow now. So let's set this layer as alpha lock. Let's pick the color. Take color number 5. And let's change the brush. Let's take something with the texture. I think for this part maybe I'll just use that noise brush. So I'll go to siakulaart special brushes. And here I'll take medium noise. With the brush size 11. Brush opacity 57. Let's add here shadow over here, like this. So to the bottom part of it and the right side. And now we can add here light. Let's take color number 6. And just brighten here the opposite side, like that. Now let's draw the leaves. So let's make a new layer for this. Let's pick the color. Take color number 7. Go back to the monoline brush. So go to calligraphy and take monoline brush, and we can just draw them here like this. One, and the second one going this way. Oops. Make sure that you will close this shape and then color this. Now we can set this layer as alpha lock and start adding here shadows. Let's take color number 9 for the shadows. Let's change the brush. Let's also use here the noise brush from Siakulaart Special Brushes, medium noise. We can add the shadow over here like that. And same over here, this way. Okay, and now for the light, let's take color number 8. We can add it here to the top parts. So just like that. Now we can make the shadows and lights stronger. Let's make a new layer on top of this one. Set it as clipping mask. We can start here with the light. Let's change this to add. Change this brush. Let's go back to all patrons brush and take fluffy texture. We can make it small over here, maybe 3%. And just add this a little bit here like that. To add here this nice glow. And now let's make a new layer for the shadows. Let's set it as clipping mask. Change it to multiply. Change color to number 9. Let's go back to the Siakulaart Special Brushes and medium noise and make this shadow deeper here. Right over here like that. For those leaves over here, we can maybe also add here some veins. Let's make a new layer on top. Let's set it as clipping mask. We are going to change blending mode of this to overlay. And let's take here color number 8. Let's change the brush. Let's go back here to the monoline brush. So calligraphy and monoline brush with a very small brush size, maybe here about 3%. We can draw now some veins like that. I think this will look even nicer this way. And now let's add some extra shadow and light to the stem. So let's go to the layer of it, make a new layer on top, set it as clipping mask. Let's start here with the light, so change this to add. We can take color number 6. Let's go back to the brush, so all patrons and fluffy texture, and just add this just a little bit here on the top part. And now let's make a layer for the shadows. Set it as clipping mask, change it to multiply. We can take the shadow color, color number 5. And let's go back to the other brush, so Siakulaart Special and medium noise. And make it darker over here, right here. Okay, now we still have to add the shadow right under the peach. For this we can make a new layer. And we are going to put this layer over here under those parts. So just above the background color. Let's change the blending mode of this to multiply. Let's pick the color. Take color number 12. And let's change the brush. If you want, you can use here this medium noise brush. I'm going to go back to the Siakulaart texture brushes. And here I will use soft spray. With the brush size 14. Let's add here shadow like this. make it stronger right under those parts and fade it away to the sides. So like this. Now we can make it even stronger. Let's make a new layer for this. Also, let's set it to multiply and make it darker right under the peach, this way. And I'd like to also add here a little bit of tint from the color of the peach. So for this, let's make a new layer. Let's also set it as multiply. And now we can take the peach color, color number 1. And with this, we can just kind of draw here all over this shadow. So like that. I think this looks way nicer this way and more realistic. So like this, and we can turn down the opacity of this. So it's there, but it's not too much. I will make it 59%. Let's see. Okay, I like it this way. So now in the end, let's add here some nice glimmery light in the background still. Let's make a new layer for this. We can set these layers add. Let's change the color. Take color number 3. And let's go back here to the all patrons and the fluffy texture brush. Let's make the brush size bigger now, maybe like 53. And just add this here like this, giving you this nice glowy effect to the background. Okay. We can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. I'm going to make it 83. And we can still add here one more layer of some light. Let's make a new layer for this. Also set it as add. Now we can change the color. Let's take color number 1. And let's change the brush. Let's go here to my siakulaart freebies brushes and take stars. Let's make the brush size maybe 16, and we can just add a few of them over here like this. And now smaller brush size, 5%, and just add some more of this. Okay. And turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it 70%. Okay. And now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to draw more of me, don't forget to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!